So today I'm going to be doing a project that I found on YouTube just randomly. It was suggested to me. The channel is called Aiden Taylor. Shout out Aiden. The project he's doing in the video is for Halloween buckets, like little candy buckets, I guess, out of like a papier-mâché type of clay. And I've worked with this clay before. I made a huge pumpkin out of it. I thought it would be cool to make these little versions that I saw on his Etsy account. So I'm following the method he uses for the buckets, but to make a version that it's little heads that sit on little blocks, and each block has a letter, spells out boo. Thought it was super duper cute. You can purchase the ones he made on his channel if you're not crafty, or you can follow his bucket tutorial, which I'll link down below. Check out his Instagram too, and the link to his Etsy's and his Instagram. All his work is amazing. So I'm gonna try my shot at making these because I wanted to make my own Halloween decorations this year, and I've worked with this papier-mâché type of clay he's used before. This is what he used and what I'm using. This is a huge bag. I got it from Michael's. It's kind of expensive. It was like $40 for the bag, but it's massive. I think it's like 5 pounds or something. Yeah, 5 pounds. It's extremely messy, so if you use it, I'm in my garage. I recommend being in a garage or somewhere not in your house if possible. Also wear a mask because a lot of dust flies everywhere. And then you just add water and you mix it. And he has a really cool method where he put his in a food processor. I had never done that before. I have a tiny food processor here. Figured why not give that a try, because it is a little clumpy. It's essentially instant papier-mâché. But it turns into kind of a clay texture depending on how much water you add and how you process it. I'm gonna give that a shot now and try to make my own version. We'll see what happens. Okay, so it's later. I tried speeding things up and I put the balloons in the oven. I googled too, like if I put balloons in the oven at a low temperature, would they pop? And everything said no. I put it at like 180, I think, and I probably just left it in there too long, or maybe it was too high. And so the balloons definitely expand. I think it's salvageable. I'm gonna just try to patch it up. I'm gonna make a new batch of clay and try patching it up. It is a little fragile, so I was gonna do one more layer anyway. I'll just go ahead and do one more layer and then a thick layer here, and then I suppose I'll just let it air dry. It was also kind of cold and it rained pretty hard earlier today, so I was worried if it just air dried in my garage, it would take way too long. But when I made my pumpkin out of the same stuff, it was very cold and rainy. It took several days to dry, but it was way bigger. I'll show you. So this is my pumpkin I made last year. Oh my God. Last year, it sat out on my porch pretty much all year until we moved here. Yeah, so you can see it's massive, and I made the stem out of just regular like air dry clay, not the cellulose papier-mâché stuff, but the rest is papier-mâché. His teeth are tongue depressors, and yeah, he took a really long time to dry, but he dried. So I guess my point is just be patient, let it air dry. Yeah, moral of the story, just let your shit air dry. Don't be like me. Learn from my mistakes. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna make a new batch of clay. This is so messy. It's actually really annoying to work with, but the result is cool. You just have to be patient. Also, when I made my big pumpkin, I didn't use a food processor. This food processor is way too tiny for all that. I just dumped it all in a huge bowl and then eyeballed water and mixed until it came together. So you don't need to use a food processor. The food processor just makes it a lot smoother. Like you can see, this is very lumpy. It's just chunks of paper, but you know, even still, after food processing it, it's not that much smoother. I don't know. In his video, his looks so smooth, like clay. Maybe my food processor just sucks. I think this is okay. I'm gonna start with this one. This one to me seems the least messed up. It's obviously pretty messed up, but the other one, the balloon is kind of lopsided now. Like it really expanded on one side. This one shrank back down and is still a nice little ball. So I'm gonna work with this one first. I think this is as good as it's gonna get. It's massive. It's way bigger than I intended. Oh, I'll just put it back on this cup, I guess. So I'm just gonna... Now for this one. This one's all f***ed up. I'm gonna just take this piece off. I mean, we'll see what happens. So also, if you don't want it to stick to your hands, just wet your hands. Because you have to touch like the other parts. You just have to be very gentle, very patient. All right, this one I think is as good as it's gonna get. Okay, and there are actually supposed to be 3 balls. I only did 2. So I don't know why I procrastinated, but I might as well blow up a 3rd balloon and just do the 3rd one and get it over with. So I'm gonna grab a cup to sit it on. I'm gonna blow this up and I'll have to make 1 more batch. So I found the key to getting these round is you let air out and then you just push it towards the end. I think that's a good size, I suppose. And then just try it out a little. No, it's about as good as it's gonna get. Mask on, and we're gonna mix our batch. This is as good as this one's gonna get. It's about the same circumference as the cups. There is a difference in texture since I hand mixed that one. It is a little lumpier, but I'm gonna go over them with a sandpaper when they're totally dry. I want them to look vintage and handmade. I don't want it to look like it's brand new out of a factory or anything like that, so I don't really care that it's lumpy. Yeah, so I'm gonna just let these dry. I'm going out of town for a few days, so take this off. I'm going out of town for a few days, so when I get back, I hope these will be totally dry. Actually, 1 week from today is when I'll be able to pick these back up. And if they're not dry in 1 week, then I don't even know. See you in a week. Ooh, sorry, that was dumb. It's been a minute. I popped my balloon. This is what I got going so far. I did a very light sanding. This is gonna be a kitty cat. I'm using foil, so I just roughly shaped what I want to build on out of foil and glued them on. This one's gonna be a moon, and then this one's going to be a pumpkin, but I put a little witch hat on top. We'll see how they turn out. All right, let's mix another batch of this shit up. Okay, so here's the consistency I have. Still might be a little too wet. I can't really tell. I just mix it until mixing's good. Here is some more mixed celluclay. It's an okay texture. I might add just a tiny bit more of dried celluclay to it, which will make this texture a little lumpy, but I don't know. Let's give it a try. Let's see what it does. Filming that whole thing. I added some whiskery things to the side of the cat's face. We're gonna draw letters on the blocks and then put celluclay in the letters to make them kind of 3D. I can't believe I didn't film that whole thing. That's so stupid. I'm filming on my phone. I don't have anything fancy. Next is the moon. From what I've seen, he like puts like a thin circle. We're trying to mimic like craters. God, this shit is so annoying to work with, but the results are undeniable. And then, as I said before, it's okay if it's not super duper perfect because you're gonna sand. Here's one little crater. I guess I should decide where my moon's face is gonna go. Kind of want to give him like two for his cheeks, like the apples of his cheeks. Guess I gotta decide where those are gonna go. It's a happy moon. There's one ball. Decide his smile, how big I want it. I'll show you what I'm doing. Just literally putting like a ball, smoothing it out. Sort of smoothing on top. I think that's slightly better. I'm just gonna kind of localize it more. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, now we're getting somewhere. I can like kind of manipulate it with sanding. I think I got it okay. I don't know. Those are his little smiley, the apples of his cheeks. So his smile will go in there. I don't know. Another good time to dip your finger in water is for these craters because you have to go in the middle and like smooth it out. And again, if it keeps sticking to your finger, it's extremely hard to do. So the way I'm doing the craters, and I don't know if this is the right way to do it, this is just the way that makes sense in my brain. The way I'm doing the craters is putting like a mound on his head. I'm smoothing it out, kind of like how I did the apples of the cheeks. Then I poke a hole in the middle and I push it out to however big I want the crater. I want this one to be kind of big. Pat down the sides and brush out. Pat down and fan and brush out. I'm gonna gently pat down the edge and flatten out any areas that need to be. And then on the inside, I'm gonna also do the same thing, gently bring it in. And then I'm just smoothing it out as much as I can. And then go in and pat out any areas that need to be brought down a little more. There's another little crater for him, side of his head. I'll probably do like maybe two more. The others will be on the back of his head. I'll maybe try to do one tiny one on the front of his face because I want it to be apparent that he's a fucking moon. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Finished my moon. Whoa. That's the big crater on the back of his head. Here's the front. So here are his two little cheeks. Where the hell are they? Here are his two little cheeks. And I put one little crater down here. He has two on the side of his head and one big one on the back. I need to like draw on him and map out where like his eyes and stuff are gonna go. All that's left is the pumpkin. Now, I'm gonna do his witch hat. Turning out like shit. It's way too heavy, it's too thick, the brim won't stay up. I guess I could have built it out better with foil, but I think when I was doing it, I was just over it. Anyway, the original creator of these, he does like a little pointy hat, and it's very, very cute. It's like a little party hat almost. I think I'm just gonna do a stem, a pumpkin stem, and I might even build out on him a little more to give him some like 3D-ness, pumpkin-y shape. So I'm gonna do that. Okay. I have been working on this without recording just because sometimes you want to start working on a project and you don't feel like busting out a camera and a tripod and shit. So anyway, I only did one. It's pretty much done. There might be little things I do to it to change it up, but here it is. Oh my god, it looks so big compared to my head. It's kind of bigger than I had planned on it being, but I like it. I like the way it turned out. So for his hat, it's made out of papier-mâché. I have these like plastic sheets. I just cut one into a circle, cut a portion of it out and rolled it. Then I hot glue gunned it to this, made another batch of the celluclay, and then just carefully put the celluclay on this. Also, it's been really hot in Northern California the last week or so. So all the additions with celluclay I've been adding to these, I just put it in the sun, direct sun in my backyard, and it dries so fast. You do this, if you have direct sun, you know, hot weather still, you put it in direct sun, it'll be dry the next day, maybe 2 days. If you let it dry indoors, especially if you don't live somewhere warm, it'll take like a week to dry. Craters are really big, but I think he looks cool. And I'm going to do the other two. So here's my pumpkin. I gave him some dimension. This is a stem, but I'm actually working on that one last because I need to go to the craft store. I'm gonna buy some felt and I'm gonna make him like a felt witch hat to sit on top, because I was gonna make it out of the celluclay, but then I thought a felt witch hat would look really cute. So I'm gonna do that. Next is the kitty. So here's the ears, and then kind of like the fur, whatever. I'm gonna sand it down because it's very sharp edges, because I was just trying to get it done. I'm gonna start sanding now. Alright, I have this guy sanded. As nice as I want it to be, at least. It's a little rough in some areas, but once I paint it, you won't even be able to notice. Anyway, I'm gonna paint this next. Hi. It's been a while. I have been really bad with filming. Went out of town, like I had mentioned before, and bunch of life stuff happened. Nothing important, really. But just kind of fell off. And anyway, one of those things, I dyed my hair. Sometimes when the mood strikes, you just gotta do it. So, needless to say, I finished the project and I just didn't film it because I suck at YouTubing. Sometimes you want to just make something and you don't want to set up a tripod and a camera and a bunch of shit like that. So anyway, I thought I would just show the final result because they are still very cute. Turned out so cute. Then I have the pumpkin, like I mentioned before, that I was gonna do a felt witch hat, which I did, and it turned out really great. I just kind of freehanded the face. I just wanted like a classic jack-o'-lantern type of thing. So yeah, I'll show more close-ups, whatever, of them at the end, but sorry, this tutorial sucked. I hope you just enjoyed watching it and learned something. I'm not very good at this, but I like making stuff and I like showing people how to make stuff. So hopefully down the road I become more consistent with how I film and make things. And yeah, I'll just show you up close now.